PDubs Arcade Loft is a channel made by adults for adults only.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Hey everybody, it's January 26, 2020, and this is Patrick. That's right, your good old host PDubs from PDubs Arcade Loft, and I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Loft Report Podcast. That's right, we are your arcade and gaming news podcast. We definitely appreciate your support, and we're kind of excited because not only are we going to have this podcast episode distributed on all the platforms, and the platforms keep getting added, which gets me all fired up. We're everywhere now, baby. I love it. Well, not only that, but we're also going to live record the episode of the podcast. That way, folks on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/PDubsArcadeLoft, will be able to listen to the podcast as well as watch me in action. And I actually got some cool stuff we're going to put up on the screen for those folks as well. So if you're a fan of a podcast, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. And if you're a fan of the YouTube channel, do us a favor, check out the podcast. Definitely give you something to listen to on your ride into work. Enough of the intros, baby. This is going to be episode 5. We're going to be talking Arcade1Up on this episode. And is it really burger time? Is the title of this episode. That's right. We're going to give you some true, honest opinions and feedback on what we know and have seen so far and what our plans are if good old P-Dubs gets his hands on a BurgerTime cabinet. Let's go ahead and get the true intro rolled, and we're going to get this baby fired away. So we're very, very excited about the BurgerTime cabinet. As you can imagine, the BurgerTime Arcade1Up cabinet is a limited edition release that Arcade1Up has announced. What's interesting about this cabinet is obviously it's been a long time coming for this cabinet to arrive. We've been waiting on this cabinet for 6 months, at least 8 months. And at first it was a Karate Champ cabinet, then it got switched to BurgerTime. We've heard from Arcade1Up. They expressed feedback that this particular cabinet was redesigned due to feedback from the community. And obviously, if you take a look at it, what it is today, it's definitely a better looking cabinet as a BurgerTime cabinet than what it could have been as let's just say a Karate Champ cabinet, because a Karate Champ cabinet would have been black side panels with like a logo just kind of stuck in the middle of it, and it would not have been as nice as what it looks like today. I myself happened to be at CES 2020, and I got to see the BurgerTime cabinet up close. There's a video on my YouTube channel where I did a walkthrough tour of their booth, and you'll see the BurgerTime cabinet in there. And I'll be honest, folks, she is lovely. She is definitely a lovely cabinet. I think you guys will definitely want to have this in your arcade rooms, especially just for the difference in looks. I love the way it just kind of diversifies what your Arcade1Up or arcade room looks like, because all those Arcade1Up machines look the same body style, same shape, same size, until you got to the Star Wars cabinet. And Arcade1Up really hit a home run, making that Star Wars cabinet, the side panels and the shape of the cabinet more true to the original arcade. And that, of course, is what we are seeing on the BurgerTime cabinet with the chef's hat side panels. So seeing this thing in person, I have to tell you guys, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful cabinet. It's well put together. The pictures and the video don't do it justice. I think whoever orders this one is going to be very excited when they take it out of the box and put it back together, or put it together. It is bright, it is colorful, it is vivid, and of course with the Bowie monitors, the screen looks really good. We'll dive into the games here in a bit. It ain't all sunshine and roses. However, I think you're really going to be happy with the way this cabinet looks. And of course, they're only making 3,075 of these bad boys, if I recall, which is very, very interesting. So let's do something crazy here. Let's find out. These cabinets have been on the market now for what? A couple weeks? I think they went live at CES. So let's get a little crazy here. Let's hop on the good old interwebs. Let's see how many of these cabinets are left. So we're on the Arcade1Up website for those listening to the podcast. And I'm just going to take a look and see how many of these BurgerTime cabinets we have left available. How many have we sold? So here's the BurgerTime cabinet. We're going to go ahead and pre-order this. There she is. Now, when you go to check out, if you return to cart here, we can change the quantity. They had 3,075 of these bad boys. Let's just say I want to buy them all, right? And let's go to checkout. All right, so what the website tells me is that as of today, January 26, 2020, there are a total of 2,239 of these Arcade1Up BurgerTime cabinets still available. So if my math is correct, that means they've sold about 836 of these in the last couple of weeks, which is actually a pretty good amount. In fact, I think it's selling faster than the limited edition Marvel cabinet, but don't quote me on that. Now, Arcade1Up did have on their website which by the way, let's change this to 0 because I do not have $1.2 million to purchase the rest of these cabinets. Man, they're going to make a killing off these bad boys. When you take a look at the Arcade1Up BurgerTime announcement, what they did say is that if you pre-order, and if you're one of the first, I think 1,000 that ordered the BurgerTime cabinet, it will ship by March 1st. So if 836 have been sold so far, guess what, guys? That means there's only 164 left to hit 1,000. And once you hit that 1,000, you're going to have to probably wait a little bit longer to get your BurgerTime cabinet shipped to you. So if you're interested in getting this cabinet, you might want to get your orders in here shortly so it ships on March 1st if you're in a rush to get the cabinet. Okay, so people have been asking me. They've been saying, Patrick, what are you going to do? Are you going to order a BurgerTime cabinet? In all transparency, I have not placed an order yet. This, unfortunately, has been something that I have been back and forth on. I don't think I've teeter-tottered on a purchase in a very long time. When it was a Karate Champ cabinet, I definitely didn't want to buy it because of the appearance of it and the fact that I have 100 other ways to play the 4 games included. And then, of course, when they announced the redesign that it was a BurgerTime cabinet, I said, you know what, I would probably purchase it now because it looks beautiful and it will help diversify the lineup of arcades I have in my arcade room. So then I was all in again. And then I saw it at CES, and I did see some people playing it at CES. And when they were playing it, I did notice that the screen on the horizontal games for Bad Dudes and what is that, Caveman, the other one, it didn't look so good because the screen was kind of smushed. And that's because, you have a vertical screen, and out of the 4 games included, 2 of them are vertical screen games. The other 2 games are horizontal games. So what's interesting is, and I think YouTuber Retro Ralph, subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. YouTuber Retro Ralph received a demo unit, and he kind of did a review video, and he showed it. And, in all honesty, I agree with him that if, you're primarily going to buy that cabinet to play BurgerTime and Karate Champ, you're probably not going to play the other 2 games as much. However, if 4 games come included, you definitely want those experiences to be the best possible for those 4 games. And seeing in his videos and pictures where those 2 games were smushed down because of the aspect ratio, you couldn't get them a little bit wider. the way you would normally see on a normal horizontal Arcade1Up cabinet, where they would take up the entire 17-inch play field. Now it looks like they're only taking up about, I'd have to measure it, maybe about 12 inches. Definitely didn't look that great. Ralph said that when you do play it, it kind of disappears. And, I think there's some truth to that, because a lot of people complain about the Toy Shock pinball machine bezel. However, when you play the game, you're so focused on the screen that you don't notice that 4-inch bezel on the sides of the screen when you're playing the game. It just kind of disappears. So I think there's some truth to that as well. I think Ralph made a good point. However, I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of those games looking that way on that screen. In my opinion, they should have gone with 2 other vertical screen games and stuck them in there. However, there's probably more to this cabinet than we know. Could be a licensing issue. There had to be these 4 games, as well as could be just an issue with the control setup. What's interesting here about the controls is kind of like the original Karate Champ cabinet, where you had the 2 joysticks. Well, now you have the 2 joysticks on this BurgerTime machine, and then of course you have a couple action buttons. So we're going to get back to this in a minute. I want to try and make a good point here on this stuff. However, when I think about what am I going to do personally, am I going to get this cabinet? I've been back and forth. I swear every time I talk to all my other friends and content creators who mess around on YouTube and podcasts and live streams, I'll tell one guy one thing, I'll tell another guy another thing, and it's not me being mischievous. It's just I honestly have been like a seesaw on this, and I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to pull the trigger, and I think I'm going to order the BurgerTime cabinet. However, I want the cabinet for the way it looks. The cabinet itself is just flat out beautiful, and with the light up marquee, with the custom riser, with the riser graphics, and with the side panel artwork, and with it having a vertical screen, I honestly feel like this particular cabinet would be perfect to put a 60-in-1 or maybe a Mr. Burns Vertical Pi image online. And I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not, but let me just show you something. I'm going to roll some footage here. And while I'm rolling the footage, for those listening to the podcast, I'm going to kind of just describe to you what's happening. Okay, so right here what we have is we have my Miss PacMan machine that I modded, and I put a 60-in-1 in. The 60-in-1 kit came from DIY Retro Arcade. And of course, the BurgerTime game is included with those games. What's nice about that kit is the fact that the you get a real Sanwa joystick, and the buttons are all fantastic Hap style buttons. I think I can't remember, but either way, the joystick itself with the 4-way restrictor gate, you can play all the 60-in-1 games really, really well. So I love the fact that this 60-in-1, and it has PacMan and Galaga and Galaxian and Galaga, Galaga 3, and like 6 different PacMan games. It's got Miss PacMan, and of course you can go into the dip switch settings and you can change all that stuff. So if you're listening to the podcast, definitely recommend you check out my YouTube channel, and you check out the Halloween episode I did where I highlighted my Miss PacMan machine mod and the 60-in-1 board that I put in there. The 60-in-1 board is obviously not perfect. It's not a real arcade board, but it's pretty darn good. As you can see, the 60-in-1 looks great on. It's a great way to mod your vertical screen Arcade1Ups, and you'll still have BurgerTime included with that 60-in-1. Which is pretty cool. And when you look at this cabinet, because of the artwork on the cabinet and the riser and everything, you really might only need to put maybe a kickplate graphic in, if you want to put in kickplate graphics, which, arcadegraphics.com Tyler has some amazing kickplate graphics that he sells that you can purchase to match this cabinet, BurgerTime graphics. And if you use coupon code PDubs at checkout, you'll save 20%. At arcadegraphics.com, so don't forget that. Although I believe he's got a major sale going on right now. I think it's like 35% off if you use coupon code Broken Arms, something of that nature. I don't know. I don't remember how long that sale lasts. So of course, YouTuber coupon codes won't work when they have major sales going on. Just a heads up there. But if you miss the sale, you could still save 20% by using coupon code PDubs at arcadegraphics.com down the road. Now, when I look at this cabinet, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with it? I think I'm going to buy it. But I'll be honest, and I hope Arcade1Up doesn't get upset about this. I'll buy it, but I'm probably going to mod it. I'm going to either do a 60-in-1 or I'll throw in the Mr. Burns vertical pie image. Would love to hear the feedback on my channels, whether you comment on the podcast listening platform that you're allowed to comment on, or on the YouTube channel, or wherever you find this posted. I do read all comments. Let me know what you think. What would you rather see? Would you rather see a 60-in-1 thrown in here or a Mr. Burns vertical pie image? I've done a 60-in-1 before, so I'll be honest, I'm leaning more towards putting the Mr. Burns in because I haven't done that yet. Let me know what you guys think on that. So the long and short of it is, it looks like the games and controls play pretty well, and it looks like 2 of the games will look beautiful on this cabinet. The 2 horizontal games you'll have to get used to. But minus that, there's really not a lot of bad things you can say about this BurgerTime cabinet that's coming out. And however, I see it as a great modding opportunity, so I think I will place an order in there. Let me know what you guys are going to do. Would love to hear your feedback. And what would you do if you got this BurgerTime cabinet? Would you keep it stock or would you mod it? Now, taking a look at some other stuff here, wanted to give you guys a heads up what we have coming down the road. So, as you can imagine, we've been very, very busy, and I got a very long list of content we need to put out. So I figured I would give you guys a rundown of what to expect and what to follow. What we'll have coming out this week is, let me take a look here. We do have, for Arcade1Up, you'll see me post a video on how to wire a light-up marquee into the existing power switch on a Generation 1 Arcade1Up cabinet. The Generation 1 Arcade1Up cabinets did not include light-up marquees, except for Golden Tee, but I think that's more Gen 2. So if you have those cabinets and you buy a light-up marquee from somebody like Angel Otero or one of the other aftermarket modding companies, and you want to figure out how to wire it into the power switch, we got that video coming out. Also, I finally got the parts I needed to finish my Toy Shock pinball mod. So there will be a video on my YouTube channel coming out this week as well, showing you all the mods we did to my Toy Shock haunted house pinball machine. I think you guys are going to like the simple and stuff we did, and of course I try to do everything as more of a walkthrough format. And then for the At Games Legends Ultimate, we did receive, thank you very much, Glenn sent me his Glenn's Tron joystick, so I'll definitely do a video on that. Recommend you check out YouTuber Cool Toy. He posted a video already on YouTube showing how the Glenn's Retro Show Tron joystick could be installed inside of an At Games Legends Ultimate, and how cool it is. And I will also be posting a video because I love Glenn. He's a friend of mine, and I definitely want to support him. And the joystick is awesome. And of course, because Doug does such an amazing job when he films, now I got to find a way to present the material differently. That way you guys don't think that we're just showing you the exact same thing the same way. You know me, I'll come up with something goofy. Also, parts 3 through 5 of the At Games Legends Ultimate walkthrough series Probably get one more of those this week, and then the other 2 episodes next week. So we're going to get that all done for you. Now, when it comes to the podcast, the Loft Report Podcast, as I mentioned earlier, we do have Steven from the Tech Buzz lined up. He's going to be coming on. Can't wait to have him on. You guys will love the story him and I share. And then, of course, David from Unqualified Critics we're going to have on. He's going to take PDubs exam, and if he passes the exam, he's going to be qualified. That's right. Him and I were laughing about that today, but David, I wasn't kidding. I am going to test you. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of the podcast. We definitely wanted to keep it around 20 minutes for your car ride to work. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and would love to hear your thoughts and feedback within the communities on what you think of the BurgerTime Arcade1Up cabinet, what you're going to do with it, are you even going to order it, and when you receive it, are you going to mod it or keep it the same? I think PDubs is going to place an order, and I think he's going to mod it, and he's not going to keep it original. And that's just the way it is. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for hanging out upstairs with us. Can't wait to see you guys on the next episode of the Loft Report. Hope you guys have a fantastic week.